Hi dear ones, I'm Amy Rose White, integrative psychotherapist. Thanks for joining me and welcome to my channel. You might have heard a lot about inner child work, or perhaps you're brand new to it. This is part one of a two-part series in explaining what inner child work is and how to heal our inner child. Like, what does that really mean? What does it look like in practice? And I will tell you right now, once you embark on the journey of healing your inner child, it is a beautiful, lifelong process about rebuilding that relationship with our inner little one. And there are lots of ages of our inner little ones, and we'll get into more details around that in part two. But to begin, what is inner child work? What does this even mean? Well, in my personal experience and professional experience, inner child work is actually the most profound healing modality, particularly around issues around self-esteem, self-worth, repeating patterns in relationships, and any kind of trauma, especially around abandonment issues. So inner child work essentially acknowledges that we all have wounds in our part of ourselves that is still a child deep, deep within. Our inner child develops wounding no matter what kind of childhood we had. Now, there's a continuum, of course, in terms of abuse and neglect, and whether needs, internal and external needs, were not met. But to whatever degree that was the case, there will always be a part of us that did not feel seen, heard, understood, or what mental health people call attuned to. Didn't receive attunement, meaning that someone who cared, was present, saw what we were experiencing, reflected that back to us, and helped us be seen, feel heard, be comforted, have a model in our bodies for how to cope with stress or disappointment or grief. So because we live in a conditionally loving world, the inner child will always be wounded as a function of this. Now, the reason that is because, and what I mean by conditionally loving world is, you get attention when you're good, you get punished when you're bad. That's typically from parents, church leaders, teachers. You get graded for doing well or better than others, and you get devalued and graded poorly, or not as many opportunities if you disappoint or don't meet someone's standards. And those standards are really arbitrary. So most of us have experiences of someone judging us, rejecting us, telling us we're bad fundamentally, which just elicits a lot of shame. So when we talk about shame work, we're really talking about reparenting the inner child from a place of unconditional love rather than conditional love. And that's what sets the stage for healing in all other areas of our life. Now, when we live in a conditionally loving world, the function of living in that world is self-abandonment and betrayal. It means that in order to belong and win love and approval and acknowledgement and fitting in with others, we really have to disconnect from our own internal experience, our own deepest feelings, our own bodily reactions. And if you've ever spent time around a baby or a young child, you know that they are really in their bodies in the moment, fully expressed, crying, yelling, screaming, throwing themselves on the ground. Ah! This is the innate attunement we actually have to ourselves at birth. And it gets drilled out of us as we learn to disconnect further and further and further from the truest experience of the body's wisdom in childhood, through programming, through conditional love, through all these systems and institutions that we participate in. Now, the human animal is built to belong. That equals survival. We'll do just about anything to belong, to fit in, and to win love and approval. And quite frankly, that's actually functional towards our survival when we're in the dependent phase of life in childhood and even adolescence. However, when we take those self-abandoning coping strategies that we learned to fit in and belong and achieve love and approval into adulthood, they often result in tumultuous relationships, picking abusive partners, staying in unsustainable working environments, choosing friends that aren't really good to us, might not show up for us the way we show up for them, and a whole host of other patterns that don't lead us to the life that we really, truly, deeply desire and dream of. So that cost is high, as I said, and we can shape ourselves to meet the needs of others, and we can heal the inner child by undoing that, unlearning how to stop being our authentic self, disconnect from how we really feel. The healing is about noticing the part of us that is running the show from a scared, anxious, I need love, I need you to approve of me, or I'm gonna die place. And us as the wise parent now in adulthood, connecting to that young little part. And it might be 2, it might be an infant, it might be 5, it might be 8, it might be 16, it might be 20. But when we take the time to notice that that wound is running the show, rather than the confident parent, the wise parent that says, no, you don't have to run around pleasing everybody to get love. I've got you. I'm protecting you. Maybe no one was able to protect you then, for whatever reason, but I'm here now. So the essence of inner child work, in conclusion, is a return to innate knowing and trust in the body, the acknowledgement and expression of that experience and need in the body, and then the conscious action in response to that. So when you set boundaries with people who you just don't resonate with or who are being abusive, you're taking care of your inner child. You're healing your inner child. You're reparenting your inner child. It's really about this process of reconnection and then us responding with the attunement that we really needed at all those little moments during our lives. We become the wise, loving, bigger, kinder, stronger parent to our own inner selves. And over time, I promise you, that transforms every aspect of your life. I hope this is helpful. I look forward to describing in more detail what inner child healing work looks like and a 5-step process for really digging in deep with what that looks like and how to do it in my next video next week. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be well, may you be at peace. Bye for now.